Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Hey, it's Louie Max for Grind and Pivot. As you might already know, I've interviewed Big Mitch Smiley's wife, Adrian, which is on YouTube exclusively. Parts 1 and 2 are up now, but we had a technical issue with the video portion of Part 3. So here's the audio of Part 3 for our podcast subscribers, along with a YouTube episode that has unreleased pictures of Adrian and Mitch back in the day. Hope you enjoy. Peace.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Yeah, what you look back on it, those denials, and he said it, he's talked about it, and he talked about it a little bit with me. You know, those denials, he just wasn't, not that he wasn't ready, but he just didn't figure out his way yet. What was it? Because it seems almost like you got two different people here. You got a guy who's so solid with you and Nicole as a family. He knows that end, and then he has to go back and be the fighter and the person to, you know, I want to do my thing, you know, in prison. And what do you think was the biggest part for him after he got denied X amount of times? You know, what happened there?
He would go to a super dark place and he'd just be like, fuck everything. Fuck the world. Fuck this. I'm not having it. And it would get dark. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it would just go, I'd come to the visiting room. He would not have much to say. He would not be communicative.
Bad spot.
Would totally, you know, it was hard. It's hard to watch somebody you love go through that and just be like, I don't give a shit. Like, I'm over it. Do you mean? And so,
how did you help?
I don't know that I was always successful, but I just was trying to tell him, like, he had so many people that loved him and really that he mattered to people. Do you mean? That he mattered to people out here, that he mattered. He wasn't a piece of shit that's in prison. Do you mean? Like, he was an incredible human being, and I just would try to do that. But sometimes when you are way there, sometimes those words can only be held on the surface and they don't really sink in.
They don't resonate. Yeah. And I'm sure it's many times you say it and only one or two get in. Any advice for people that are kind of going through or have gone through the same type of thing that you might want to just, because I know a lot of people that listen to the channel will probably want to know, they might be in the same spot or they might be getting into the same spot or just want to hear. Any advice?
Yeah, I would say that stay true to who you know they are and who you know that you are. Just peel apart the muck and get down to the thing that's like, this is the person that I love and this is the person that I want to be with. And as long as they're treating me good and vice versa, that you stick with it. And, it's weird because I feel like if I could talk to my younger self now, I would definitely be like, you know it. Like you in your core of a human
you know
being,
it. Oh, so you knew deep down inside. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I knew that Mitch and I would be here. And everything is going to be cool. Like, whatever is meant to be, don't force it. Let it be, let it be, let it be. Do you know what I mean? And just let things naturally occur the way they're going to occur. Because when you start trying to force stuff, it doesn't work.
Right.
Just let things flow. So, and it's not easy. It is not easy to do. And of course, it's easier said than done. But just hang in there. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's you're going to come out on the other side some way, whatever that's going to look like.
Right. You don't really know. You don't really know necessarily.
And so, it starts to weigh on you like he's never going to get out. This is never going to happen. Like, it's just, and the thing that I don't think that I don't know if Mitch has ever said this in one of his videos, but the thing is, when Mitch went to prison, you start with, you can only peel off 8 points a year, right? That's all you can peel off. Well, Mitch went in at 17.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can imagine his point wise, when I got to see him, he was at some ridiculous amount. I'm just going to say this night.
Astronomical, right?
He was like at like 1,000 something, right? You can only peel off 8 a year. 8 points.
Right.
I mean, so once and Mitch didn't get in trouble a lot. Like when we were together, he didn't. Like, he was partying and whatever, but he didn't get in trouble. Like he was like cool. And so, so people don't realize that was a big consideration. What took so long, because you can't get transferred to a level 2 until you start getting those points.
Yeah. Got you.
So.
Oh, okay. So that's interesting. Yeah. So it was almost quite an uphill battle.
Yeah.
Wow.
For sure.
Amazing. So years go by. Everybody's getting older. You're doing your thing. Let's fast forward, because once he knew he was getting paroled.
Mm-hmm. We weren't talking at that.
That's my question. How often were you in touch?
We weren't talking. He is okay. So he wrote my daughter a letter, and Mitch had gotten really sick a couple of times when he was in prison, obviously, right? Yes. With the valley fever.
With the fever, right?
So Nicole gets this letter, and she calls me, and she's like, "I got this letter from Mitch." She would always call me and read me the letters, of course. Of course. And so she's like, I got this letter from Mitch. She says, I'm afraid to open it. And I was like, why? She goes, because I think it's bad news. Like, they think he's going to, like, say he's got cancer, something.
And you haven't spoken to him in how long?
100% honest, I really felt like Mitch was going to die in there.
Wow. Like, how long was it at that time that you had not spoken to him?
Maybe a year.
Okay, so still
maybe a year. 9 months, like a year.
Yeah.
And so she lets it sit there in the mailbox, and like she's got this little thing on the inside that looks like a mailbox on the inside of her house. So she has the letter just sitting there. And she's like, I'm afraid to open it. So finally, she obviously opens it. So this is circa September 17.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Wow.
So she calls me. I'm at work. I worked a lot at the time. So it's night. It's like 8 o'clock or whatever.
Is this the hospital, or this is
no? This is I worked at a college. I worked at a college at that time for a nursing program. So she calls me up and she's like, "Are you sitting down?" I'm all, yeah. And she goes, "Guess what?" What? She said, "Mitch is getting out of prison." And I am like, what? She goes, "Can you fucking believe it?" I'm all, are you kidding me? When? Now, mail, like I said, that piece of mail had been sitting in the thing for like a freaking month.
Wow.
So I'm just like, my head is just like spinning. I'm like, oh my God, like he's actually getting out.
Right. So now what's going on in you?
That's what I'm saying. So in my head, I'm just like tripping out. Like I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, oh my God, he's getting out. Like this is a freaking miracle. At no point in time did Mitch and I ever say, you know what? I'm going to get out next year, September, whatever. Right. So I'm like, shit. I'm like, this is crazy. So I literally am at work. I type in this letter and I was like, hey, I want you to know that no matter what this is going to look like between us, I'm here for you 100%. If you need help, you need money, you need whatever you need, like I'm here, Right. So I give him my email address. I sign the letter, but in my head, we are now a week away from him getting out. By the time that letter was opened, and he has got 7 days that he's getting out.
So he knew a while, and then he finally wrote the letter to Nicole. She didn't open it. A month goes by, and this is coming up like momentarily.
Yes. So I know the mail works in prison. And they're freaking slow.
Obviously.
And so I literally type the letter out, I sign it, I run it down to the mailbox, and I put it in the mailbox right that night. So it'd go out in the morning. So for 7 days, I check every day. I'm getting
Of course.
the mail come to the mail come. I check it, and there is nothing. I got nothing. So
Did you tell anybody? Tell your mom?
I called everyone. I was like, I called my Chip.
Okay.
I called everyone. I'm like, you're not gonna freaking believe this. Mitch is getting out of prison. They're like, what? And so everybody is like tripped out. And Mitch had built a relationship with like most of my friends. And so everybody was blown away. The date goes by that he gets out, I think it was September 29th. And nothing. And so I'm thinking to myself, okay, mind you, it is September 29th. September 29th, and I think it was 30th and the 31st. And by the 30th, I still hadn't heard anything. So I was like, yeah, he might not want to like talk to me, like whatever. And then I'm going to school. So I'm going to school to get my Bachelor of Science. And,
and this is in transsocial housing. So you do know the process.
Yeah, no, I know the process.
You know the whole process.
So I know the whole process. So again, though, right, I wrote the letter. He's been out for a day. I haven't heard anything. So A, I'm like, he didn't get my letter. Right? That's right. Like,
fair. That's fair.
B, he got the letter, doesn't want to talk to me. And trust me, I weighed every single of these possibilities out, right? He's mad at me. He's got a girlfriend. He blah, blah, like all this shit. Okay.
Course,
and so I'm like, okay. So I weigh all this stuff out, and I'm, it's going through my head. So I'm going to school. And so I get up every morning at 6 on the weekends. I start doing my homework, right? So I'm online, I'm doing my homework. And all of a sudden this little message pops up on my thing, and it said, for the first time in 38 years, I'm having pork chops and gravy at a restaurant.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
But that's it. No, call me at this number. No, nothing.
Now, that's interesting. So because his mom picked him up. I know they had the whole thing with the parole officer. They had to go stay in the hotel. So I did ask him that he had the pork chops. I did ask him that. Yeah. Now, do you think, I mean, there are people that only text or write 3 words, and they don't really give you anything. But this is.
But that's not. Mitch has been.
Are you like WTF? Are you kidding?
I'm just like, what the hell? Like, that's it? Like, you're not gonna be like, babe, like, let's meet up. Like, somebody's like, what the hell? So I'm freaking out. I'm like, oh my God. So then I'm calling Nicole, and I'm like, this is all I got. She's like, nothing else. Give him my email, give him my phone number, blah, blah, blah. And it was through email. It wasn't through text. It wasn't whatever. He sent me an email. So I'm like, dude, where are you? Like, what do you do? Like, whatever. Yeah. So I'm like, and I got nothing. Hours.
Really?
I mean, he's really making me like sweat, right? And so I'm like, okay. So I go about my business, and then he calls me. I'm going to say it's like 6 hours later. And we're on the phone, and he's like, hey. And so I was like, I cannot believe you got out of prison. He's like, man, babe, like, it's so crazy. But I can tell his voice, he's like a little ambivalent, like apprehensive is probably a better word. So I'm like, he's like, hey, he goes, I still love you, right? And I was like, I still love you too. Like, that's not even a.
Yeah, that was never a question. I mean, that was never a question.
And so he says, but I don't want to fuck your life up.
Okay, fair.
And I go, Mitch, that would never happen. I go, like, never. Do you mean? I was like, I love you. And this is it's a miracle. Like we're having a conversation. You are outside. I'm outside. We're having this conversation, and it is crazy. Like, who would have thought,
Yeah, that's heavy.
And from, again, almost like when we first met, it was just like, we're on the phone. Like we would text a million times a day. I'm whatever. And then we started planning, like, where are we going to live? What are we going to do when he gets out of transitional housing? And
well, what about you? But you had to buy him groceries, right? Didn't you have to buy him? You had to buy him groceries, didn't you?
And I had to bought him groceries on Amazon.
Well, you bought him, now you had to buy him groceries.
Exactly. And I bought him, like, I bought him bedding and had him all, whatever. I'm like, I'm an adult now. Like, I have money. Like,
oh, yeah, right. Yeah, it's true.
So, and so it's just what's really crazy. So I wrote this down, actually, that I wanted to tell you this. So that was in September. I didn't see Mitch until November. It just work things and whatever.
Okay.
And so I fly out there. And so I'm with the Uber driver, and so he's like, who are you gonna go see? And I was like, I'm gonna go see Mitch. Like, we're like, I was like, we used to be married, blah blah blah. I tell him the whole story. It's like an hour of traffic. LA's terrible.
Yeah.
So we have this whole time, and the taxi driver was like, the Uber driver was like, are you shitting me? He's like, so this is the first time you're gonna see him in the real world in like ever? I go, ever. Like, we've never both been out here.
That's correct.
He goes, that's crazy. And he goes, hey, I'm going to ask you something really bizarre. He goes, do you mind if I wait after I drop you off? Like, I just want to see.
He wanted to see it.
Yeah. And
he saw it with his eyes.
Yeah. 100.
Wow.
Yeah. So he's like, so I'm all, yeah. I go, absolutely. So he pulls up on the opposite side of the street. Mitch is at transitional housing. He's sitting outside. And I get out of the Uber and I walk up, and Mitch stands up, and I'm just overwhelmed. Like, I'm just like, so we hug and we're smooching.
It's like a movie.
And the Uber driver just gives us a big old thumbs up, and he went on his merry way, and I never saw him again, but Mitch
Shout
and I.
To the Uber driver.
I know, it was awesome. I was like,
where are you? Where are you?
So it was amazing. And Mitch and I talked, like, literally, I think I was there for 3 days. And we walked 12 miles in one day. And we just talked, and we went to the beach, and we went out to dinner, and I bought him his first steak. And what was amazing to me is, even though we're older, when I look at him, I look at the same.
Yeah.
He's the same guy. You know what I mean? And it just was really, it was amazing. And so we ended up moving, so that was November. We ended up, that was 17. And then Mitch came up to Placerville in May of 18. And then I came up, so he was actually with my parents before I was. So we lived next door. And then up in probably, it was the following month in April. Hi, babe.
Wow.
Yeah. Say hi.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
So that was so that was a fun experience, but it definitely, it's a lot of planning. You have to have people write letters to parole officers saying why he's moving here. Because we weren't married up.
We decided you guys were going to move in together.
Yeah.
And what was it like the first couple of days, weeks, months early on? I mean, settling into your little cul-de-sac up there.
It was awesome. I mean, it was like we were on like one big long family visit, and it was just like, we didn't have a TV for the first year. Who needed
one?
No, who needed one? And so Mitch was like, I sat with that babysitter for 38 years. I don't need one,
Don't blame him.
So it was awesome. Like, I was working, I started working right away, and it was good. Like, it was just really, we cooked together. Mitch loves to cook, and it just was really, we were both at that. We still are, obviously, like, super grateful that we were given this opportunity. He, all the things that I ever envisioned were real. Do you mean it? And it was happening. Do you mean? And it was like,
in reality,
it was just tripping me out, like, every day. Every day I thank God for this happening, because it really is, again, something I never thought I'd see.
Yeah,
So
I don't think you're going to lose sight of that.
no,
It's embedded. There's no way.
no,
There is no way.
yeah,
Wow, that is some amazing story, and I hope for everybody listening out there, they're goosebumps. I think
Yeah.
goosebumps, and I think everybody's real happy. I mean, I'm absolutely honored that you were able to come on and talk with me about this. We really did peel that onion pretty
did.
good.
For sure.
So I have to ask you. I always ask everybody this. Obviously, music.
Okay.
You growing up, music. What were you? Was it something that was a part of you, or did it become part of you? Anything
No,
to do?
I'm
Anything?
a huge music fan. So
Okay, good.
again,
Good.
I grew up during arena rock, right? So
Journey, Boston,
I think
Kansas,
I
all
saw
that.
AC like freaking probably 10 times when Bon Scott was alive. And so
Absolutely.
which was amazing. My very first concert was Eddie Money, Sammy Hagar.
One of my favorites, Eddie Money from Long Island.
Yeah, I know. Day on the Greens.
R.I.P.
That's
R.I.P. to Eddie Money.
I know. That just bummed me out 100%.
Yeah, that's a,
And I went to lots and lots of concerts. My mom had a really good friend that worked at Bass outlet. Remember Bass, where you buy your tickets from?
yeah.
And she would basically front my mom tickets, and
Oh,
which
boy.
I probably only paid her back like maybe twice. The summer of '76 was the most awesome year. I went to LA Memorial Coliseum for I think it was like a 3-day concert. And I was just like, that was my thing. Like I loved AC/DC, I loved Skynyrd, like huge
Big Skynyrd fan. Big Skynyrd fan.
I mean, but I also liked Stevie Wonder was one of my favorites. I loved the Commodores. I loved Earth, Wind and Fire. I mean, so
R&B, you like the R&B. You like the
100%.
R&B.
I mean, and Mitch, it's funny, like we'd go on a visit and I'd play like whatever, Earth, Wind and Fire. When he'd be like, yeah, they're okay. Or, yeah, that's all right. Whatever. So,
I love it.
At that time, I loved to dance. And so, the clubs were like 100%,
Sure.
hopping then. And so, I loved that. And so music, huge part of my life. It was funny that you said that because last night, I was telling Mitch, I don't even remember what song it was that came on. And I go, for music for me, it brings you to that
time.
Yeah, and so the smells, like, I was telling him,
Nirvana?
I can't remember what song it was, but they used to always, like, you go into an arena, like you're going in, right? And you got your backpacks, you got your wine and Jack Daniels, and you got your shit all together.
Right.
And you got your bandana tied around your leg. And then we go into these concerts and like, they would play like music. And so like when you're walking, right, those million speakers or whatever.
Yeah, like Queen. They play Queen or something.
Lizzie, whatever. And like the boys are back, like you walk in and you
Lizzie.
feel
Right.
like the energy in it. And you can't replace that. Like I'm so glad that I did that when I did. So the one song that used to get me every time, because I went to millions of Skynyrd's final concerts.
Okay.
And the one song that always got me was Simple Man.
Love it. Just listened to it the other day. There's a great documentary on TV.
You know what? My friend's in that, and he was like, they interviewed him at a couple of those, and he kept telling me, you got to see it, and I'm going to do that.
It's great. I saw Skynyrd around the same time in New York.
Yeah.
This is crazy. I saw them, I think, with Charlie Daniels.
Oh,
and I believe they might have even opened at the time, because I saw 38 Special as well. But Skynyrd, big Skynyrd fan, big Allman Brothers, all that.
You know what? Right. Actually, I'm sorry. My very first concert, that was my second one. My first one was at Frost Amphitheater at Stanford, and I think it was probably 75, 74 maybe. And I saw the Outlaws, Willie Nelson, Marshall Tucker, Southern rock was a big piece of my life back then.
Interesting. Very interesting.
People I grew up with, people I admired, whatever. That was the shit then. And
that's funny. I just listened. I'll have to show you this. I have the picture. I'll text it to you whenever if I remember. I just listened to the first Marshall Tucker record with Take the Highway, Can't You See, I Know I'm Losing You, Hillbilly Band. I mean, I just listened to the whole thing. I'm on this lately. What's funny? I'm on this crazy Southern rock thing. So I've been listening to Allman's Live at Fillmore. You know what I just listened to? Brothers and Sisters from top to bottom. Allman Brothers. Unbelievable.
I don't think I've ever heard.
It's with Ramblin' Man. So it's the one with Ramblin' Man. Wasted Words. Great.
Bad Company. Bad Company is another one that I was. Of course.
But
yeah, I think, it really does. And so whenever I'd hear that song, so Mitch and I kind of have, so we got, everybody's got a playlist, right? And so Mitch and I's was 100% Appetite for Destruction, Guns N' Roses, Sweet Child of Mine, the whole November Rain, that timing was right when we met, right? Yeah. And so that whole is kind of our rhythm, that's kind of our playlist. But when I myself would hear that song, Simple Man, Mitch was always the first thing in my brain.
That's
and that's how I see him. And
that's great. You might have to put that in. You have to put that into the video.
I know.
On the outro, you got to. Now you have to.
But they'll probably charge me $1 million to put that in the beginning of it. So
maybe. I don't know. No Depeche Mode, right?
No. No.
Sorry, Mitch.
And no.
That's a joke. We know that's only a joke. So, great conversation.
Yeah. Thanks, Louie.
Anything we missed? Anything you want to talk about? Anything you want to shout out to? I want to give a shout out to Hard Intentions and your channel. It's been great since day one. I think I've been watching or listening before it was day one.
Yeah.
Shout out to Death, of course. But if there's something that I'd love for you to say or talk about and give a shout out to, please do. And I want to say once again, thank you so much. I had a ball. I hope you did.
Me too. I totally did. What people don't know is that Louie and I probably went through about an hour and a half of technical issues before we got here, and we're still here. So, but thanks. You know what? You have an amazing show, and you have like an awesome video presence. I know you're only doing podcasts, but you really should think about doing
Really? You think so?
I do. 100% do.
I appreciate that.
So I think, the thing I want people to know is that, when Mitch was in prison and he was doing this artwork and whatever, he'd send it home and he was like, I had this idea, and Mitch had lots of ideas, trust me, at the time.
Good.
And so, right. And so, but this one he was very focused on, and, he's made just so many pieces of art coming to this. And, when Mitch says this was his live stream, it's 100% accurate and true. Mm-hmm. And it's just a beautiful thing again to see something else, like everything, the rhythm of everything has just been very natural and very awesome.
That's why it works. That's why it works, by the way. You can't.
Like the timing, like we happened to got remarried on the day before we went into lockdown. We got married on that Friday. We went into lockdown on the Monday. Do you mean? And so with this artwork, Jesse James posted that, Mitch's artwork, and then bought one shirt. And I think we sold, I don't know, it's insane. Like I'd never seen anything like that. And just to see Mitch's face, like he was like a little kid.
Yeah, sounded like it.
Like he was just blown. And that's one thing I love seeing the world through his eyes.
Right.
It makes me have a rejuvenated view of life. Do you mean
you have it too? You have it too.
Everyone's like, oh, I gotta go to work and blah blah blah. Mitch was like, fuck yeah, I got a job. Like this is, what I mean? It's like seeing it gives me a new sense of life.
You have it. You could see it.
Yeah.
I never saw it. I hear it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
now I've always heard it, but now this is a total different head. Now
Yeah.
I see it, and it's so real. I mean, you're wearing it.
Totally.
Really wearing it.
And so that's just,
when's Mitch's birthday? When's Mitch's birthday? I never asked. Can you say?
June 11th. It's coming up. Yeah, June 11th.
How about you?
What's that?
How about you?
I'm Halloween, baby. Halloween. It's my birthday. So I'm a Scorpio.
I was gonna say. Right.
100%.
I'm a Sag. Okay.
He's so I guess I just want really people to know, like, we are so grateful. This platform has given Mitch not only a tool for other people, it's helpful for him. It's helpful for me. And we just never had any idea what this was going to turn out to be. Like, no clue. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and so Mitch is the heart of, I do the background stuff, I do the technical stuff, which is a lot of work, but we wouldn't have one without him. Do you mean? And so he's just I love him more every day. And life is not perfect. Mitch and I have our moments like everybody else,
of course,
but it's beautiful to have those moments. I mean, it's something we never thought we would. So
well said.
I just want everybody to know that we are who we are, and we're super grateful for everybody's support of our business. I'm so grateful for all the support people have given Mitch. Like, it's incredible. And I just really feel like we have found our place in this community of Heart Intentions. I feel like, I met you, we met you, and I just feel like it's just a beautiful, amazing thing, and we are super grateful. So I just want to thank you. Oh my gosh, I told you I was gonna cry.
Wow.
Oh, thanks so
Absolutely.
much.
And you know what, we want to thank you as well. I know I speak for many, and I'm so again honored that you came on with me, just starting out as well. And I got to tell you, goosebumps. I was really juiced about this one, and I was nervous. I was terrified, actually, not because I wanted to be as good as it could have possibly be, and natural, and I think it was. So,
and I knew it was going to be a good rhythm with you because you're super easy to talk to. That's why I said you should consider about doing this video, because doing video besides just
I am. A couple people have been talking about it, and I am. Okay. Except
you should.
And I appreciate it. I really do.
The only other thing I think I want to add is just I just want to thank my parents. They've been I'm 56 and they're in their 70s, and they're super active, and they've just been really big supporters of me and Mitch, and I'm just really. Without them, we wouldn't be here right now. And I'm just really grateful for that. And our kids, and, hi, Nicole, hi, Emma, and hi, Livy. So I'm happy. I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy that we got this opportunity, and thank you very much for that. And this is probably, it's nerve-wracking. Like, if this was very easy for us to do, but I was nervous about doing it for a multitude of reasons, and I totally feel comfortable now that I chose the first one, and that was you, because it actually worked out better than I thought it would. So
I'm so happy. Fantastic.
Me too.
Well, you take care of yourself, and shout out to Heart Intentions. Do it hard, as he says.
Hard.
And Mitch, wherever you are back there, I love you, brother. And give a big kiss to Chewy.
Okay, we will. Thanks, Louie.
Okay.
Thanks so much for listening. Big shout outs to the crew behind the scenes: John Hart, Ian Lidovich, Russ McMahon, and of course my wife Jill. Don't forget to smash that like button, comment and subscribe, and follow at Grind and Pivot. You already know we appreciate you. Later, son.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.